Thank you for joining us on Discussion to Action. Today we're going to be talking about the common phrase made by many women who say that there are no good men out there, and then we're also going to have a conversation about women of value. In general, do you think women value themselves? Why or why not?
I think it takes time to value yourself.
Do you think that in general women value themselves?
I kind of think a lot of it comes from, yes, based on the value that men project on us a lot of times. I think we see ourselves through a man's lens of what value sometimes we can, if we aren't on that journey like we were talking about of learning to value yourself. If a man thinks that I'm beautiful, like I do want to hear you say that I'm beautiful. If a man thinks that I have value, all of those things, based on what it is that he's feeding us, then it can shape our perception of our own value.
So basically your answer, Marika, I saw you say no. Your answer is women value themselves based on what man.
I think that's the initial, or that happens often, yes.
Mm-hmm. So in general, do women value themselves, period?
That is still valuing yourself, even if it is from the lens of somebody else, because
not from anyone else's lens. Right. I'm asking, do women in general value themselves from their own lens? And
I said yes to start off, because okay, like my father, if he were to give me $20, I'm gonna go and spend the $20. I appreciate it, but just because I didn't go out and work for it and earn it myself doesn't mean that I don't value the $20. And so I think that a lot of times that is kind of the similar dynamic that we as women can have, whether it be our fathers, whether it be our boo, husband, whatever it is. You can see yourself through the lens of how a man sees you or treats you or talks to you, however, and then it's up to you to do that own self-reflection and journey and agonize really of, this is my value, this is what's important to me, I am something, all of those things. So my answer would be yes.
So your answer is yes based off of, just so I'm clear, other people?
It can be.
We understand that, but what I'm just trying to get is, do women generally value themselves through their own lens?
Yes, but I don't want you to discount what I'm saying.
I'm not. We could get to that. I'm not. I just want to understand or answer that particular question. Basically, what you're saying, we have to, generally women kind of wait for men or somebody else.
I don't think we have to wait. It's projected on us.
No, we don't have to. Right. But either we wait or it is projected on us or whatever, but that's how we see our value is based off of what other people.
I wouldn't say blanket all the time, but yes.
Unfortunately, that's life. The true. Little girls, it starts early. Society tells what's pretty. That's like the $1 million thing. I mean, everyone knows what they see outside things, and that's how we judge ourselves. Unfortunately, it's true. We shouldn't do it. It's not the right way to do it, but thin or this or light or dark, all these things that society, it could be men, it could be magazines, it could be society in general, tells you your value, which that's the whole thing you fight for, is no one can define your value. And you might come to that at my age, but you might not have that at 12 or, it matters. When you start shaping and forming relationships and how you deal with people. You know what I mean? Early on, we see it through other people's lenses. Our parents could even do it. You're the dumb child, you're the smart child, you're the whatever child. Now you are the dumb child, and you are because of what society or the outside. So that's really how people start. That's how it starts, whether it's from parents, teachers, men, women, even friends. That's how you start to, and it's sad, that's how you form the opinion of yourself. You let other people do it for you.
Do you feel like
it's
that's
sad.
Okay to do it?
It's not.
To value yourself through someone else's lens?
To some degree, for people that I love, because it may be something new that I'm starting in my life, and I may have doubts, and may be insecure about some things. So I may go to somebody that I love and say, something as simple as, how do I look? If it's an outfit that I'm trying and I'm not sure if I can really pull it off, I may go to somebody that I trust and I believe has my best interests and say, how do I look? And if they give me the nod or if they don't, then the ball is back in my court to say, okay, well, I'm going to rock it anyway. Or to say, yeah, I knew that. I'm about to, whatever.
Okay. How do you know whether or not you actually value yourself?
For me, it's learned. Like everything else in life, it's learned. So until you're faced with an option, with like even as simple as the outfit, how do you know? You don't know. You're learning every single day of your life, and it's starting in the beginning with your parents and your siblings, the people you grow up with, what they project to you, what you see on TV, what you're learning, and what you're accepting. Because you're making decisions as you're watching that. Oh, I like the way. Like for me, Aaliyah, I like the way she danced. I'm making a decision, you know? And that's value to me. That adds value to me because I got a stomach like that, you know? And I'm just, that's my value that I'm decided on my own, but with the help of Aaliyah and her team. Right, and then my parents come along and they say, why you always got your stomach out? And, you know, you're learning these things. And then you get to that point where you decide, like she said, most of the times when we get older, you decide, wait a minute, there's got to be more to this. Right. And then you start to have your own lens of value, but it's learned.
And that's how we end up following for everything, because this man said you were cool, that, you know, you're going this way, that, until you get to a certain age and you're like, you know what, this is it.
And then that don't mean that you won't ever wear your stomach out ever, especially if you got it with your stomach.
Right.
So, okay, you said it's learned, value is learned, but I'm asking, how do you know whether or not you value yourself?
I think when you're no longer seeking for validation or attention.
That's it. That part.
That's good.
That is.
That's it.
Finish this sentence. Women who don't value themselves typically do not do or do what?
They don't take care of themselves.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, self-care. There's just things that I feel like every woman has, they maybe speak to them, that maybe they grew up on, they were taught how to take care of themselves, how to love themselves. They don't do certain things, like they don't even have things that they would do on their own time for themselves, if that makes sense. They're always putting out, doing things for others, but not taking care of themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anybody else?
I would say doing something so you can love me, you know? If I'm gonna do something based on love, I'm doing it because I love you. But if I'm doing something so you'll love me, I'm getting pretty every day so he'll love me, or whatever it is, if it's always based on another person, then you haven't learned to value yourself yet.
Like basically just doing things that make you feel good about you. Like
Right.
instead of out there just doing things
I'm
for
getting
somebody
pretty.
else, like,
Because I love
somebody else
you,
like it.
you know,
Yeah,
because
somebody
I
else
love
like it.
me, and I like how this looks, but I love you. It's not so you'll love me.
That's that validation.
Oh, it didn't work. I'm gonna try the other color lipstick because it didn't work. No.
And then you're hurt when they don't.
Right.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
It's because you
Yeah.
do these things and your mood goes up and down based on what these outside people tell you.
Right, for example, like changing your hairstyle.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not living with her.
You were saying?
Like, for example, like changing your hairstyle specifically to be noticed, and then getting your feelings hurt when you're not noticed.
Right.
Instead of just truly just wanting for yourself to change your hairstyle. You know what I mean? Like, because that's just the type of person you are, and you like different hairstyles every 2 weeks. Like, I know people like that, you know? But some people really like, maybe that type of person where they get their feelings hurt because their man didn't notice.
But is that wrong though?
That might be a way, I don't know, that speaks to you. I mean, I think it's subjective at that point, honestly.
Okay, so you talking about get your feelings hurt because he didn't notice or because he didn't like it?
It could be either or, honestly, because at the end of the day, who are you doing it for? If it's not for you, then you will get your feelings hurt if he didn't notice. But I mean, it's also, if your man ain't the type of person that's attentive to you to even see that your hairstyle changed, that could speak to the type of man he is too. And that means if your feelings get hurt, that might not be the man for you. You know what I mean? Because he should notice the differences.
Well, then it's a whole other layer of noticing and actually saying something.
Right. But if he's not the type of man to care about hairstyles, then you should not expect him to say something. But like, there's different men out there. It's just different. It's just whoever but it's subjective.
And then what does it do to you?
Right.
Not even for you. What does it do to you? Now I'm devastated for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You don't value yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you should be able to move right on.
Right.
Oh, I forgive that. You didn't notice. I forgive you. I
It's
love
not
you.
even-
You don't even have to say it to him.
Yeah.
I forgive him. He didn't notice. He's still cute.
Right.
Exactly, because you value yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Can you guys describe a woman of value?
Confident.
Encouraged, period.
Reflective, evolving.
Emotionally stable.
Mm.
It's okay just being by herself if she needs to be that way.
Mhm.
Doesn't have to have a man to be okay.
Okay. How do you assess and recognize your value? In other words, what makes you valuable? And I know we've talked about, I guess, certain things that women kind of maybe project or feel like what makes them valuable. I mean, I've heard women saying things like, you know, if they have kids or if they have a man or if they have things. But what is true value?
I know, like, for me, it's like, I know what I have to offer. Like,
Mm.
I know what I bring to the table. Like, I know, like, who I am. I know, and I'm not even saying, like, in, like, a relationship with a man. I'm talking about as a friend. I know what type of person I am. I know what I'm going to offer you as your friend. I know as your friend, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to love you in spite of. I'm going to ask you or push you to be your best self. Like, there's things that I offer that nobody can make me question.
Mm.
Like, I know what I'm bringing to the table. So as me bringing this to the table, like, this makes me valuable because I'm defining it as that.
Yeah.
So that's what it is for me. Like, can't tell me that, oh, you can't tell me that's whack because this, man, this is what it is. Like, this is who I am. Like,
I'm mad.
I'm giving you everything. So this is, like, I just feel like I'm just confident within myself. Like, I know what I have to offer, so that's what makes me valuable.
I think that was good, because it is about knowing what you have to offer. Let me tell you my experience. Like, for me, I was in relationships where I wouldn't necessarily say that the guys were not good guys. I actually am a woman who's never said, you know, there are no good guys out there or anything like that, although the guys that I were with did certain things that I don't agree with or don't want to, you know, didn't want to continue a relationship in. But when I was out of those relationships, I would talk to another guy maybe about it or, you know, whatever, and they would say, oh, you know, you're this, you're that, you know, that type of thing, compliments and stuff. It wasn't you, it was them. And I came to realize for me that it was me. You know, it was me. It was me and how I didn't value myself, because I see now that when I value myself, the way that I value myself, then I'm going to make certain decisions based on how I value myself.